Why am I so much calmer? Terrified to suffer. I let go of the leather as I drift toward the shoulder. After the long break, we're finally back. And I wanted to talk about the number one topic right now, which is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Not because I'm a fan and not because there's really anything like valuable. Maybe I'm gonna sound like a hater, but not that there's anything valuable going on in their like specific situation. But I think that Taylor Swift has put on a masterclass her entire career about what it means to get your audience involved. It's like the ultimate branding. It's the ultimate, like, there is no artist, in my opinion, in history who has ever branded themselves better than Taylor Swift has branded herself. So definitely wanted to talk about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, this episode is brought to you by Nutrishop Parker. It is your one-stop shop for high-quality supplements, protein powders, and wellness products that actually deliver. Whether you're building muscle, burning fat, or just trying to feel better every day, Nutrishop's expert team can help you find what works best for you. If you're local to Colorado, stop by their Parker location for a personalized experience. And if you are tuning in anywhere in the USA, use code BRANDON at checkout for free shipping on your order. Fuel your goals the right way. The Nutrishop way. All right, let's go. Obviously, guys, give you guys an update. It's been a while since we did a little vlog. I shot a movie. I wrote a movie. I just actually yesterday auditioned for another movie. We've made like 20 different songs. Working with a producer tomorrow to finish one of the songs. I'll probably give you guys a sneak peek at that one. I made one song that I put out on my YouTube called The Wheel, and I'll give you guys the completed version, down the road, but I can preview the song so far. I was dealing with a hormone issue. I was losing all my gains in the last 2 months. It was crazy. I went to the doctor, went to a sports medicine doctor, went to a hormone clinic, and it turned out that my estrogen levels were like really, really low, which is very strange because I wasn't taking any estrogen blockers or anything like that, but it was causing me to like lose definition, lose the tightness of my muscles. Like I literally could not build muscles. I was getting all this fat around my midsection. It was crazy. We worked with, a hormone clinic, got everything kind of back to normal. My testosterone was fine. It was in normal range, but the estrogen was like super on the floor. I think like normal range for estrogen is between like 45 and 60 for men. And mine was at 6, just the number 6, which was crazy. I'm not sure what happened with that, but it was a whole situation that we were dealing with that. Fitness has started to increase some more. Starting to get my gains back, which is good. I know we wanted to compete in a bodybuilding competition earlier this year. That did not work out, which is good because I had the hormone issue that just came out of nowhere. It could have been from stress, could have been, just getting older, whatever it is, but we got it. It's slowly fixing. It's probably not going to be completely back to normal until like another month or two. But I have been enjoying the increase in upkeep of working out again, which has been cool. I started singing every week at my church. So I'm the cantor at Queen of Peace Church in Aurora, right? So I'm there every Sunday, 5 p.m., singing, cantoring and all that stuff, which has been so nice. I feel so privileged and honored to do that. If you guys have been watching the vlog for any significant amount of time, I've definitely been, slowly learning and becoming more of somebody who feels free to create, perform, and be out loud with my relationship with God. And all of my music has completely changed to just being Christian music, which has been an amazing experience. Like I've been a Christian my whole life, but I haven't always made Christian music or done Christian musicals or been in Christian performances. I never understood the correlation of like, how are you a great actor? How can you call yourself a great actor and a versatile actor if you're only in Christian stuff? Part of that comes from there's not a lot of Christian media that are doing bold, great writing, great storytelling, characterizations with depth type of projects, right? And out of that, it comes from my own bias when it comes to it. Like, I grew up with the same Bible stories over and over again, and I in my little kid brain, I never understood and thought like, how could we make the story of Adam and Eve a genuine, like, depth, emotionally gritty story? I didn't have that depth in my mind being a kid, and becoming a man, I understand like, oh, like if we really wanted to make Bible stories, like we can take it in any direction. We can make it a comedy, we can make it a horror, we can make it a drama. Like the story of every single story of the Bible has infinite amount of depth to it. And I've been applying that to the music that I make and understanding that there's a million ways we can tell every story about the human experience from a godly point of view. And it's been tremendous. It's like been like such a creative, like freeing, fun situation to be a part of, like taking the training wheels off of my thought of creating in the Christian realm and in the Christian sense, and then just saying, you know what, I am a Christian who lives this. I don't just do it for camera. I don't just do it when people ask me. I live it in my own home. And now I want to create art from this space that I am as a Christian and see what other Christians think of it. And I think it's been really, really cool. So that's my whole like kind of update. How this applies to Taylor Swift is that Taylor Swift has from the start known exactly what she wants from her audience. And I always thought about it, probably because I didn't have a good marketing brain, that the audience is supposed to want something from the artist. Like they want good music, they want to be entertained, but it's really the opposite. The artist has to know what they want from their audience so they can give it to them. Right? Sorry. So the audience can give it to them, and so they can like create the story, create the symmetry to get back from the audience. How am I explaining this? Get back from the audience what needs to be done. So let me use this in different words, because I'm sure I just butchered that. But it's going to make sense. Trust me. Basically, Taylor Swift has been using her pursuit of a relationship, her failed relationships, as a way to get audience to latch on to her story and follow her story. What she wants is her followers to believe in her, to trust her, to be with her throughout her entire life. And it's been beautifully crafted. Does that make sense? When she was super young, it's the high school sweetheart, and she came at it from a pain point of view, where all little girls understand, everybody gets their heart broken. So even dudes would resonate with this, but she's targeting little girls, as she was also a little girl herself, is that dudes will break your heart, but that doesn't define you. And that's the message of when she first came out. And she dressed it up even in her presentation of her production, not having overly processed vocals. Simple guitar, maybe little drums, maybe little like chimes or whatever she's doing. Like it's very minimal presentation to show that she's exposed, that she's young, she's vulnerable, she's open. The entire thing is crafted beautifully. So fast forward some years later, whenever she's doing her bad girl thing, whenever she's in drama, it's like, as I'm maturing, I don't know what direction I'm going. Do you understand? Like, so she's still crafting her story in a way that people who are now in their 20s understand that as a woman, this is how you would navigate these types of fields. And she's being vulnerable and honest. So there's still understanding and trusting and believing and following her journey, because from the very, very start, she was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is all I know. I'm in pain. I'm broken, but I'm open and I'm honest and I'm with you, and we're in this together. Fast forward to now with the Travis Kelce, this is like the climax of her story. This is the real, like, what do they call, like the rising action happened, the climax of the story is here, and now she can go one of two ways with this. So that getting engaged to Travis Kelce is now like the long form ultimate game of like, we made it, girls. We did it, right? So if you're a girl, you understand this. And me looking at it, I'm like, oh, it's beautiful, because either she crashes and burns after this, or she goes into legendary status way past Michael Jackson. And I'm not saying talent-wise. In terms of like the emotional encapsulation of how she's now just put a stranglehold over every single girl who felt how she felt when she put out her songs early on. Now all the girls are like, oh my gosh, she did it. We can do it. Some girls have already done it, so they feel the sisterhood there. And people who weren't following her story from the start have no idea. They have no idea where people are literally crying on TikTok that Taylor Swift got engaged. It's because they weren't a part of the narrative. So that's the importance, the strength of branding, where literally if you're not in the cult, and I'm not calling it a cult, but let's use these words to make it really colorful in your mind. If you're not in the cult, you will not understand the depths of what she just has done to her audience in a good way. She has literally put the climax on the story that you have been following for the last 14, 15 years. It's a huge deal for people. So the reason why I said that she can crash and burn, or she can go to legendary status is because if it doesn't work out, if Travis Kelce is not the right pick, if it's a fake engagement, whatever it is, and it doesn't work out, then the whole thing kind of unravels. And this is just like my best educated guess because I've been studying it. Everything unravels because the goal has always been to get married, have a wife, pick a fence, the cats, like the dogs, the cats, the kids. Like that's been the vision. That's what she's given people. But if this doesn't work out, after already saying how much of a strong man Travis Kelce is, how loyal, how trusting, how beautiful, like how whatever he is, they've built him up to such a degree where if they break up, then it becomes a situation of, okay, Taylor, have you been the problem this whole time? And I know there's been so many narratives of people already thinking she's been the problem the whole time, which has kind of damaged her narrative a little bit. She has benefited from a lot of the dudes not coming out saying that she was a problem. Like I know Taylor Lautner didn't say too much and things like that, whoever she's dated. But this one's being the climax of it, I think would really turn into a situation where her audience might genuinely turn on her if this doesn't work out. But not to go too much into that, the positive side is if she gets married and they announce that she's having a kid and it's another little girl or, even a little boy, like I think that that's another beautiful way for her story, her narrative to continue and now pass it down to her kids. Like, man, you saw me struggle, little kid growing up. I'm a full grown woman. Oh my gosh, we have a kid. Let's start all the way over again. And it's like a beautiful way to like keep it going. Right. But don't read too much into like the very specifics of it. Think about how intentional somebody like Taylor Swift was from the beginning. Maybe it's their studio heads, producers, whoever, to sit there and say, we have to know what we want from the audience. We have to know how to deliver it, to package it. We have to know how to sustain it. And then ultimately, they figured out how to make it go forever to where she's way more popular now than she used to be. So as I was thinking and applying this to myself, the number one question I've been asking myself all week is, what do I want? What do I want? And this question has gone through a lot of different trials and errors because growing up, I always wanted an EGOT. I want an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony awards. And I've been doing like some introspective on that. And there's a lot of like reasons why a kid would want an award. Why does a kid want external validation at the highest level? You can do your own deductive analysis on that. And you're probably going to be right? So I'm not here to like sugarcoat or hide anything. There's been reasons and issues in childhood and reasons and issues in my, my life where I felt like validation was the answer. So that being said, with my relationship with Jesus, he's filled so much of that want, that desire that I had to where I no longer crave or want or am chasing an award. I still want to do everything to the best of my ability. I want to be great. When I lift weights, I lift them hard. I try my best. Like, I'm not the biggest dude ever, but like I work out with the goal in mind of being great. So as I'm looking at this vlog that I'm doing, this video that I'm doing, as I'm looking at the songs that I'm making, as I'm looking at, in a couple of days, I'm singing at my church again, I'm like, what do I want? And if I'm going to start posting on TikTok, YouTube consistently, I have to let you guys know what I want. Because if it doesn't resonate with you, you're not going to stay around. if I don't tell you what I want, you're not going to stay around because there's nothing in it for you. Like, you're not going to be locked in with me. We're not going to be on the same wave. Like, maybe I want what you want. And typically that's when relationships form and they become strong, is you find someone else who wants what you want. So as I've been mulling over what I want, I think the safest, smartest, and most consistently biblically accurate, the way that God is positioning me, is that he never said I can't have what I want. I just have to understand that whatever I get in this world is what's best for me because I belong to him. Whatever I get in this world is because of God. Understanding that I have no power to make the wonders of the world happen for me if I belong to him. Quick segue, I'm reading Exodus right now in the Bible. And one thing that really stuck out to me was that when God told Moses to go to Pharaoh and he said, hey, take your staff, put it in the water, water's going to turn to blood in front of Pharaoh, show him these signs. He did it, put the staff in water, the water turned to blood, and Pharaoh was not impressed because his own priests could do the same thing. When he put his staff down and the staff turned to a snake, the Pharaoh's priests put their staff down and they turned into snakes, which lets me to believe that there are genuine, it's confirmed, other powers in this world other than God that we have access to, that we can choose to align ourselves with or not. So since that's why I'm prefacing all my stuff with because I belong to God, because I've chosen him as my Lord and Savior, as in internalized it to such a degree where I don't want anything else unless it comes from him. I do not believe that anything else that doesn't come from God can do well in my life. I don't think that anything good could come from something other than God. I believe that God is the ultimate good. Jesus is the ultimate great, the ultimate joy. Everything good that comes to me has come from him. That is my baseline for how I'm explaining. So I think that I can still have what I want or get what I want, the EGOT, Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Oscar, because as I'm molding the way that I'm thinking, it's stopping and slowly not being such a self-gratifying pursuit, a self-gratifying task, a self-gratifying accomplishment. Like, what does it mean to have an award? Today, it means completely different than it meant last week. So, as I'm thinking about branding, this is why I do what I do. Why I audition for musicals is I want a Tony Award. I do. I want to be great at it. I want to be so good, people are like, who is this? I want to originate a role on Broadway. I want to either create it myself, write it myself, or someone write a show and it's like, no one else could play this role besides Brandon. Right? The reason why I make music, I want to win a Grammy. I want to be so good at singing and songwriting that people are like, I love it. I enjoy this album. Specifically for my music, I want people to know and feel that I know, trust, and love God. That is my goal from it. And that's why this whole award thing is really shifty for me, because I don't really care about the award. I care about I want to be believed. Do you believe that I love God and you believe it because you feel it through my music? When I'm acting, I want to pick specific roles to where it's so easy to know that I love God. I don't want to do roles that are debaucherous and immoral unless it tells a godly story, a story that is morally sound. If I happen to play a villain or something but in the context of the story it makes sense, sign me up. Other than that, I'm not really interested. Amy, same situation, television, stuff like that. So to wrap this all up, the branding of Taylor Swift plays perfectly in the fact that she knows what she wants from the audience. So I'm internalizing that. and letting my audience know what I want. And maybe that will allow you guys to listen to me more comforting, knowing where I come from, more caring, knowing where my heart is at, and maybe more supportive. So you will feel more comfortable commenting, liking, sharing, whatever you guys feel like doing, because you know I'm in the right space mentally, physically, emotionally for that. So until next time.